The first stop on Tampa Bay's Top 10 Historical Destinations brings us to the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens and the Christy Payne House.
Bill and Marie Selby were childhood sweethearts and came to Sarasota just 1 year after they were married, back in 1909. And when they came to Sarasota, they wanted to find a place that would be idyllic and allow them to enjoy nature. So they decided to build a home on Sarasota Bay. Bill and Marie Selby would actually be called low-key millionaires. They didn't have a renowned circle of friends, they didn't have a grand parties, and they really didn't even build a mansion to state their wealth. They built the small Selby house that now sits on the grounds of the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens and is just a small exhibit space. They were adventurers. When the first transcontinental automobile race took place from New York to Seattle, they watched it with great interest. But then they decided, why don't we take that race ourselves? So they loaded up their Thomas Flyer car with all their camping equipment. They retraced the track of that race, but they did it in 6 fewer days. And the mechanic on that trip was Marie Selby.
Along with a thirst for adventure, Marie Selby had a deep appreciation for gardening and nature.
It was all pretty vague. It was a garden for the enjoyment of the people of Sarasota. She was quite a gardener. She was involved in the local garden clubs, obviously liked big trees.
Just like the trees she planted, her passion for plants and nature continued to grow. Marie Selby's last wish was to share her passion of plants with the entire community.
When Mrs. Selby passed away when she was 86 years old in 1971, she left their estate to form a botanical gardens. She was also very generous to make sure that the gardens would be created because she wrote a check for $2 million to form the gardens. Since that time, the gardens has evolved not only into a local treasure, but it's nationally and internationally respected for the great work that it does.
I'm sure she had no idea that it would develop into, basically a world-class institution with our specialization in epiphyte study.
Today, the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens spans almost 13 acres and grows over 20,000 greenhouse plants and thousands more outdoor plants. It takes nearly 900 volunteers, plus a full-time staff, to maintain the gardens. In addition to the gardens, visitors are also eager to see the Grand Mansion.
The mansion became a part of the Selby Gardens through an acquisition program that the trustees of the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens undertook.
Christy Payne's parents spent their winters in Sarasota, just like many other wealthy Northerners. In 1913, Christy's love affair with Sarasota blossomed while visiting his parents.
Christy Payne and his wife Ann built the Payne House in 1934 for about $50,000. They had come to Sarasota because they wanted this to be their retirement home.
Payne's collection of photographed mansions was the blueprint for this new home. Architect A.C. Price was hired to compile these photographs into an honest-to-goodness dream home.
They were very innovative. They had colored tiles when no one else had colored tiles. In the bathrooms, they also had a staircase that you could pull down from the ceiling to go up into the attic, and nobody had those. They were revolutionary at the time.
The home became a showcase for Sarasota and was even part of the Distinguished Homes Tour in 1959.
Christy Payne Sr. died when he was 88 in about 1962. And at that time, the house stayed empty for about 2 years, and then one of the local families, a Dr. James Paulk and his wife Patty, moved into the house with their 4 boys, and they lived in the house for several years.
When Marie Selby died in 1971, the Paulks agreed to sell the home to the Selby Foundation to become part of the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens.
We use the house for private events and for art exhibits, and it's just wonderful to be on a piece of property that the city of Sarasota wants to keep. In so many areas, they're nothing but condos, and lots of historical buildings have been torn down, but this is one that we're going to keep because we need it to keep the history of Sarasota going.
Marie Selby Botanical Gardens is one of the top tourist attractions for Sarasota County. So not only do local people get a chance to come and enjoy their treasure, but over 165,000 people a year come and visit the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens.
The Marie Selby Botanical Gardens and Christie Payne House, number 10 on Tampa Bay's Top 10 Historical Destinations.